What's going on, people? So usually I try to in these videos talk about how great I am, all the
rudeness.
all the wonderful things that I know, all the value that I give. But this video is gonna be a little bit different. This video is gonna talk about my shortcomings in my 20s. It just makes me sad. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Just go to the intro. Go to the intro. So once again, this is Shy Hair's Other Rebel Society. And everybody talks about how their 20s is a life-altering time for them. A lot of great things happen. You become who you want to be. You find the job that really suits you, the career that suits you. Pretty much you just become an adult in 20s. But for me, there's a lot of things I wish I could have done differently. In my 20s, I was focused too much on girlfriends. I was focused too much on their happiness. I was focused too much on what other people thought of me. I really gave a fuck about what other people thought, like a lot of times. From what my parents thought about me quitting school, to what friends thought of me, to chasing money. Like, I chased money a lot and didn't really make any money, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, to leaving school. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about the 6 mistakes that I made in my 20s. But before we do that, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to this page. Make sure you like, comment, and once again, hit that little bell icon to get notified every time I drop one of these fire-ass videos. So make sure you do that. So let's hop into it. So the first things first, I'm the realist. The thing I wish I knew in my 20s is not to be focused so much on relationships. Like, relationships are cool, but at the same time, it kind of takes you from where you want to head to. In my 20s, I had 3 great relationships. One is my wife that I'm married to, and 2 relationships before that kind of helped mold me, but at the same time, I was focused way too much on them, focused on way too much of making that work. It just took too much of my time when I should have really been out here kind of like on my own, figuring out life, figuring out what I want to do, what I want to be, and really just go all in on it. So shout out to those ladies, shout out to my wife. All of them were like wonderful women, really dope. But I know that's probably not exactly what I needed at that time. So if you are, in your early 20s trying to put your all into relationships, you might want to try to figure out who you are first before trying to devote all your time and energy into somebody else. Number 2 for me is don't chase the money. Or when I was in school, college at Norfolk State, behold the green and gold. I was actually in my 3rd year and said, you know what, I'm tired of being broke. I want to get a job that I can get paid $13 an hour and, feel like I was living a life. When I got that first check, I was like, oh, $800, $900, I was killing it, man. I was killing it. You can see my little shimmy. But, and I was actually making more than all my friends at the time because they were still in school making $7, $8 an hour. But then they ended up graduating, and then they made more than me. And then my money kind of plateaued for a second. That's really the only time in my life where I really chased money, but it was probably something I never should have did. And ever since then, I've never chased a dollar in my life. Like, whatever I want is going to come to me without me having to say, hey, I'm all about this money, which I don't really get that saying anyway. But so I say that to say, if you're in your 20s and you have a bigger goal and bigger vision for your life, don't get sidetracked by the money that you're making right now. Really just go after your dreams, go after your goals, because the money is definitely going to come after that. So, and like with me, once I started to figure out exactly what I wanted out of life, who I was, what I wanted to do, the money started to follow. I'm still waiting on the rest of it to come, but the money started to come along with that. Okay, this is a big one. And my number 3 is don't give a fuck about what other people think of you. This is something that I learned actually in the past couple of years. But in my early 20s, I definitely gave all the fucks about what people thought about me, from my parents to friends to family. Thought people was talking about me. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that didn't really help me as I progressed as a person. Like, it took me a while to realize that people are gonna always talk shit about you until you actually prove them wrong. So then I just got focused on proving them wrong, proving to myself that everything that I want for myself is possible, because I'm gonna work my ass off to make sure it's possible. And then once I started to realize that people's opinions don't matter, I was able to start to branch out of my little box that I was in and start to do things that I really wanted to do in my life. And the only opinion that really matters is my own. And that's kind of the way I live my life right now. Number 4, I almost did 3, but it's 4. Number 4 is intern with companies. So if you're in college or you're fresh out of college, definitely intern as much as you can, because companies always say that, hey, we're looking for people with experience, but you're like, hey, I don't have experience. So how do I get experience if nobody wants to give me experience? So the way to kind of get around that is just intern. So find somebody that you really admire, appreciate, or find a company that you really like and say, you know what, I will work for you for free, like $3.99. Like, you don't have to pay me nothing and I'll be here every day. So find a company that you are willing to do that. Find somebody that you can actually work up under and really just soak in all the knowledge that you can, because that is how you're going to get your experience, and eventually that is how you're going to build relationships as well as building the career that you would like to have for yourself in the very near future. So make sure you intern. Number 5 is something that I still wish I did a lot more than what I do, and that's travel. So traveling just does so much for you. It gets you refreshed. It gives you new perspectives in life. When you don't travel, only thing you see is the little city or little town or region that you're in. Like, you know how many times I've been to DC? Like, I'm tired of going to DC. But every time that I went to, Florida, Texas, New Orleans, did a road trip, went to New York, I came back so energized, just ready to make stuff happen. And then usually when I come back from those trips, like I said, not only am I energized, but I'm also like really focused on making things happen. Even this year, I went to New York for a weekend, and shout out to Amir Driver. The trip was awesome, even though it was there for a short period of time, but it just had me energized on things that I could do here to really take things up a notch. And that's kind of where you need to have your head at all times. Like, always look for new things to kind of change your perspective, change the way you think about things, and traveling and vacation is the best way to do that. And number 6. So number 6 would be, once you know what you want to do with your life, like know the career, know what makes you happy, go all the way in on what that is. So for me, it took me till I was 23 to kind of know what I wanted, but then it kind of altered when I was like 27, 28. And at 28 is really when I went all the way in. When I was 23, I was like saying, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I wasn't really going to the classes to kind of really learn that, or working up under the right people, or really just studying up on the things that I knew was right. I was just saying, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. You should give me an opportunity to kind of do those things, instead of really proving how great I was at that thing, or just continue to learn whatever that particular industry or, that asset was that I had. So I tell everybody now, like, once you really know exactly what you want to do, like, it's really clear in your mind, like, hey, I want to do this thing, like, go all the way in. Like I said before, work under people, do it for free, really just get your hands dirty with what that is, so by the time you're in your late 20s, you already are proficient at it, you already have built a name for it, and you're really just killing it with what you want to do and making money from it. So it kind of hurt me to go through all those things, but those are the 6 things that I wish I knew in my 20s. Hopefully, if you're in your early 20s, that you aren't going through the same stuff, because I went through that, so you don't have to go through that. Shout out to Hov. So yeah, just really take what I just said to, take it to heart, because those are a lot of things I feel a lot of people go through when you really don't have to. Like, if you really just focus on yourself, which should be the moral of this whole story. Focus on yourself and what you want to do, and really just go all the way in. And that will help you out in the future, because once you build up who you are, know exactly who you are to your core, know what you're good at, what you're horrible at, know you got a shitty attitude, know that you can cook really well, know that you're a good people person, know that you hate people, like all those things. Like, once you know that, things become a lot more clear, and you just become a better person. You're much happier overall, especially when it comes time to getting into career-wise and all that good stuff. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a like. I need a like. That's all I need, just a like. Give me the thumbs up. Not a thumbs down, but a thumbs up. So give me a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with, your family and friends. If you know somebody in their 20s that's kind of like trying to figure out things, please share this with them. Also in the comments, I want to start doing a question. So in the comments, what is one thing that you wish you had known while you were in your 20s? Or if you're in your 20s, what's something that you're kind of dealing with right now? I would love to kind of hear what you guys got to say about that. Yeah, so please just leave a comment on that. So once again, this is Shad Harris of the Rebel Society, and I'm out.